Hey everybody, it's me again. We're going to have a look now at how we can grow our self-concept or our self-picture. So if you haven't seen the previous unit I just did on the self-concept diagram, please take a look at that because will make more sense if you do. Okay, so in terms of our self-picture, let me redraw the diagram. So remember, we've got our real self. Okay, Mr. Blobby, he is, this part of us is impacted by every significant emotional experience that we have. We develop bruises and we gain deficits, which is an oxymoron, isn't it? We gain deficits as we go through life, particularly in our early years, and we don't receive the unconditional love and care that we were designed for. Our self-concept, the picture that we have of ourselves, grows, develops, and it includes this part which is called our illusion. Okay, so there's a part of our self-picture that is outside of our real self. The rest of it is within our real self, but as you can see, it is very much reduced compared to the rest. Okay, and we also said that we have a spirit. And if we have invited Jesus into our lives, that spirit of ours is alive in God, and we are connected with Him. The Bible says that we are one with Him, and that's the connection that represents that. Okay, so how do we help this part of us grow? How do we make sure that actually our illusion reduces and actually more of who we really are, more of our real self, becomes incorporated in the picture that we currently have of ourselves? And what happens is there are certain situations that actually make these walls super rigid. Okay. Usually, if you can remember a really embarrassing moment, okay, a time where you felt super self-conscious, all right. My classic one is where I fell over in the midst of about 100, maybe 200 young people. I fell flat on my face. I was carrying some files. I tripped over a curb and landed on the tarmac, and literally like my cheek hit the ground. It was a big noise, and 100, 200 young people stopped what they were doing and turned around, and I was the focus of everybody's attention. And in that moment, my walls were super, super strong, okay? They were really thick. In that moment, I did not feel comfortable. I did not feel safe. I did not feel able to receive any new information about life, about me, about anything. All I wanted to do was to preserve my sense of dignity, and to feel better for myself. I wanted to withdraw, get away from that situation. All my head was saying was, oh my goodness, they think I'm so stupid, because I felt stupid, so I projected that up on them. All this stuff is what happens when this process, when my self-concept is super rigid, okay? And that we call self-consciousness, okay? Self-consciousness is not a comfortable thing, okay? Self-consciousness is that process whereby that's all you're aware of, is how you are and how you fear you are coming across, okay? And it's invariably, you feel like you're coming across way worse than you actually are, and definitely way worse than you hope you are, than you would like to be coming across, okay? So that's self-consciousness. As you can see, there's no growth going to happen in that. Okay, now the opposite of self-consciousness is another word that will be aware of, and that is self-awareness. And what that looks like diagrammatically in our little model here is, let's draw our self-concept back again. Self-awareness, it happens when we are in a safe setting where we feel loved, and we don't feel like we have to put on a front, we don't feel like we have to pretend, put on a mask or anything like that. And how that's demonstrated here is the walls of our self-picture become just a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more porous. And what happens in that setting, if I'm with somebody that I trust, who I know has got my best interests at heart, and who I know is there for my good, I am much more likely to actually be open to anything that they say to me. Okay, so I'm more likely to actually see some of the stuff, including here in our spirit, to see some of the stuff that's actually going on and that's real, who I really am, who God has made me to be, who He's created me to be. I'm more open to seeing that, okay? I'm more open to hearing from you the reality about my illusion. I'm more open to feedback that says, actually, Claire, that's not true about you. Actually, you may think you're really bad. You're a really bad friend, and you're really weak and easily scared. But actually, you're very courageous. You're actually a really faithful person to have as a friend, or whatever it might be. Now, if my little self-concept was all rigid like it was before when I was self-conscious, I'm not going to hear that. I'm not going to receive that in here. I'm just going to brush it off. I may not even actually physically hear it. But if you have helped me feel safe, then I can actually hear what you're saying. And what happens is, with that new information, my illusion becomes smaller, okay? And also what happens in the process of that relationship and that conversation is I'm able to take a look and even maybe see what are the things within me that made me think, that caused me to think all this negative stuff about me, or whatever it was. What are the things about my past? What are the things in me? What are the things that people have said to me that caused those lies to become part of who I thought I was? And I begin to look inside, and I begin to see some more truth. And I see some more truth about actually who I am, actually who I've been made to be. And again, there we go. So can you see that the self-concept now, because of that safe, trusting relationship and those encounters, I've been able to see and experience and know more of who I am, more of who God has made me to be. Okay, can you see also that actually more of my spirit is available to my awareness, and therefore I'm able to hear more what God is wanting me to hear. I'm able to see His perspective more. Okay, so again, what does that mean in our relationships? What does that mean if we are wanting our young people to grow in their knowledge of Jesus and their passion for Him? If we're wanting to disciple our young people effectively, if we are wanting them to grow in maturity, to know who God has called them to be, to know that they are completely unconditionally loved by Him, if we're wanting them to know all this stuff, we need to be aware of this. We need to be making sure that in our culture and the way we interact with them, that actually we are helping their self-concepts become relaxed, that we are creating a safe space for them, that we are not doing things and setting up games and setting up cultures and interacting in such a way that actually makes their walls go thick. We don't want to cause situations where they feel embarrassed, where they feel self-conscious, because we know that if that is the case, there's not going to be any growth, okay? So that's a really important application of this stuff. There's loads more, but as we said, our values are we want to build people up, we want to help people grow, because actually people matter. They matter to us. They matter to God. That God's view is that every single one was worth Jesus' death on the cross. And so if we believe that, then we need to be interacting with our young people so that actually they are safe they feel safe and they're able to grow and discover more of who God has made them to be. Okay, as I say, there's loads more applications to that, but that will do for a start as we embark on this great journey of discipling the young people in our church. So once again, don't forget your team members pack. It's got loads of stuff in it. It's got role descriptions, how Sundays should work, if you're leading a Sunday, what that looks like, the sorts of things you need to think about. It's got a team commitment as well, the things that we are committed to as a team, things that we have said yes to as we join the team. It's also got our social media policy, it's got a safeguarding policy, and all sorts of useful things in here, okay? So please do let me know again if you don't have one, because it's really helpful, really useful for us all to have. Okay, well, I might do another couple of these sometime soon, but I hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.